Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Apex Online Racing F2 League for the final Grand Prix of the season. It's here in Abu Dhabi, it's going to be a blinder, and I'm Ben Rwaggy Amkasa. Joining me on the caster's desk is the incredible Jamie Amkasa Elder. How you doing?
I'm not too shabby, man. How are you?
I am not too shabby indeed. It is the final Grand Prix of the 18th season in the Apex Online Racing League, and I honestly, it's quite sad. We have come to an end. It's been a pleasure. I've thoroughly enjoyed this entire season, and I mean, there's going to be many seasons to go, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. We had a rocky season, really, haven't we? It's been a bit of ups and downs in terms of just numbers. It's demonstrated quite clearly today. It's the last race of the season, and we've only unfortunately got 11 drivers, but hopefully we're still going to have a great race in our hands.
Well, I mean, we will. I mean, look at the guys that are on track. These guys are very quick, and they're very closely matched in terms of skill and pace, so it's good to see that they will be doing what they do. I've just seen Boomsong there representing the full pumpkin hat. I'm going to give you a bit of time to think about your 1, 2, 3. I'm going to talk about my 1, 2, 3. And again, Zones has been very quick, and I think would be mad to not look at him to take a very good P1 today. I'm trying to think if I've seen anyone else really chuck any so good lap times around Abu Dhabi. There's no one there that springs to mind. Euless might have an opportunity. Looks like a track that might favor him. Favor him.
Dax and Getting, they are going to be the other couple of drivers to watch. Dax has sort of been a bit of a surprise this season. We didn't ever really expect him to put in decent laps, but he's producing great qualifying in the sort of last half of the season. He's up to his game.
Yeah. He really has. So, I've heard from the weatherman, Wow125, who has been here for us throughout the entire season. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much for all the weather reports, but we have been told that today will be dry and clear throughout the entire race and qualifying.
Which is good, because I've seen a photo. I can't remember where I saw the photo. It was a couple of weeks ago, of the final corner of this track, and it was flooded. I don't know where I saw that. You might have seen it as well, but...
Yeah, I saw the same one. It was on Twitter, I believe. He said, this is why we don't want wet races here. And it was soaking wet through that final corner.
It was a puddle.
We do also need to do... Oh, Euless is just invalidated. I do love this new track map edition. You can see immediately whether or not they've invalidated, because it does turn the entire map red for you if you are on board with that individual. Well,
it's temperamental.
Now. Is it?
I found. Yeah, really temperamental. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And this is one of the annoying the track maps, because it doesn't quite fit. It's just a little bit out.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, Dax getting a huge tour from Zones. We've seen that a few times. Going right through down the back straight. Dax obviously on a hot lap right now.
Dax purple sector 1 as well to go with it. Going towards the end of sector 2. That's down this straight is the end of sector 2. We didn't actually do predictions. Do you want to go for it?
Zones P1. Dax P2. Wow P3.
Interesting. Yeah, wow. Last week he really impressed us, didn't he? Produced something we was not expecting at all.
Yeah.
And he was running with the big boys. It was like, at some point he's going to fall off and be left behind. But no, he stuck with him. But I don't think he's going to be the one of the ones in the front. I think it is going to be between 3 people in particular. Maybe someone else is going to spoil the party. But Dax, Get Owned, and Zones are going to be the 3 in there. The ordering: Zones, Get Owned, Dax.
Well, Dax has chucked the first lap time on the board there with a 1:33.792. So he is the fastest. We do have Kimmy's, who's done a 1:35.5. Now, bear in mind, he's on the medium tyre, so of course his pace is going to be a little bit slower. Still as good all around. Let's look at the McLaren. Here comes Hitton, and then on the hard tyres, he does a 1:36.5. So he's 3 seconds off the pace of Dax. But again, hard compound tyres, they're not the tyres to use on this track. The softs will get destroyed here, so we might be seeing a 2-stop strategy. Because again, the hards are just something you don't want to touch.
Zones are getting a lovely toe by Dax once again down this. I'm not sure which call this because it's not the back. It is the back straight, but it's not the back straight at the same time. It's the first of the back straights, and Dax moves beautifully out of the way just in the nick of time. Really, Zones and Dax, they've been doing this all season, and it's worked really quite well for them. We've seen other drivers, namely Turn and Copy, do it. It doesn't always work for them. They quite often have some problems, but I think these are the new hot couple when it comes to toes. They seem to get it perfected every time.
I've not actually seen them get it wrong so far. Granted, I've not really paid too much attention to how often they do it, but I've not actually seen, I'm not seeing them get it wrong. Sunzo is looking pretty quick. I've not seen any purples. You'll know better than me.
Nope, there are no purples. There are no purples on this lap whatsoever so far from him. There's only one man who's done purples, and he's currently sitting at the top. And I'll keep my eyes on if there are any more, but I mean, you never know, you might get a purple final sector. We're going to see in a moment. Around the final corner, and
he did.
Yeah, he did. Have you got a turn trap as well? Oh no, it says on the track map, doesn't it?
It's on the track map.
So that's interesting. I've been watching the track map since it's come out. I think this is like the 3rd race I've had it with. It's never shown the yellow flag areas until now. Maybe I've just not seen them, but this is the only track I've seen the yellow flag areas come up. I don't know if it's because of the track, because they've not really worked it correctly. I don't know, but it's good to see because that is quite beneficial sometimes. The purples especially can be quite useful. And if the red thing was invalidation, if that was somewhere better, if they just put a mark on the left-hand side of their name so it's invalidated, and that would be really useful. I mean, there's so much they can add for us, isn't there?
Yeah.
Track map is one step closer towards a very good commentary pack, let's call it, or spectator pack. They're showing up red for him now, finally. Right, so what's Eulis doing? He's just started. Just started his lap.
Now, this area the track he's in right now, this is going to be a problem going into the race because so many drivers just run a bit wide and get over to on the outside curb. If you get on the outside curb, you are in for a world of pain. It's just so much trouble. I see yellow flag further down. I think it's just Mercedes going slowly.
Yep.
That's Rupert getting out of the way.
The map, I'm not trusting the map anymore. It just showed purple for Eulis. Eulis didn't go purple in sector 1. He did a 16.994. The purple is 16.953. So unless my telemetry's off, which is very, very unlikely, I don't think that was purple. Could be wrong.
He's really hugging that inside there. We need to actually do a hot lap rundown. We've not yet done that. Well, let's go aboard with Dax when he goes for his hot lap. I think he's only just coming up to the end of that back straight, the first of 2.
Yeah, again, it's showing purples in sector 2. I wouldn't trust when you see purples. It doesn't seem to be correct.
Alright.
Because so far there's only been 4 purple sectors, and it's showing Eulis getting 2 of them. So...
I've watched... There's been a few people cutting that corner earlier. We'll get to it. Oh, that's a mistake. Eulis will across the line, get a time on the board. He would have absolutely been P2 had he not made that mistake. Eulis actually looking pretty quick, just not looking consistent. That's honestly one of the issues he's had throughout his time in this season. He has had pace, there's no doubt about that. He just keeps making mistakes. We need to go on board with Dax because he's coming up to the final few. And Mr. Amkasa, are you ready for a track rundown?
Are you ready? I'm wondering if Dax is ready. He's going to take it very carefully through the final corner, a little too carefully actually, because he floored the accelerator, nearly lost the back end. That's not the way to start a flying lap. But one of the shortest runs down towards turn 1, and it's still quite a wide track. The runoff here is huge, and this is where we're going to start seeing the cars sort themselves out. Let's go through the long right hand of turn 3, little kick at turn 4, very easily lose back end through that corner. I've seen a few retirees on the right, through 5 and 6, and hopefully you won't find Michael Schumacher facing the wrong way through this section as you go through the long, tight turn 7, dearest section point just before turn 7, and hopefully in the race you won't find a slow McLaren in front of you Hopefully in the qualifying you will, because it will give you a lovely tow down this long straight as you come up towards turn 8 and 9. Hopefully Grosjean won't be going down the inside of you here, and your name is not Nico Hulkenberg. Yes, I was going to say Heikki Kovalainen, but he has invalidated, and that's the end of that lap. But this is the next race. It's sort of turn 10 just back there. So you come down here and you lose. There's an extra lane there. You can take a little bit, but you can't take too much of it. As you go through sort of a chicane of 11, 12 and 13 up towards turn 14. Don't run too wide on the exit of 13 because it sort of banks away from you. Then 15, 16, 17. They sort of link together. Keep the throttle pinned as hard as you dare through there. Don't hit the wall on the right hand side because it's quite close. Turn 18 and 19 under the hotel we go. And this is where we saw a few crashes in the fish left one on the right hand side. 2 corners left, 20 and 21. Carry as much speed through them as you dare. And he's going to go again. He's got to do the tow for zones, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So even though he's messed up his lap, he then has to stay out for an extra lap because he owes zones a tow. And Boomstock is coming right out in front of him as well. Oh, that could be hairy. Nope.
He's fine. Nice and clear away. It's just whether or not Boomstock's going to get it out of the way in time for zones.
Well, you're going to find out because there's a yellow flag going off down there. Dax and Boomstock are all over the place there.
Scary.
Where is zones? Oh, he's on the back of Dax, so yes, he's got out of the way. We're good to go.
So zones 134.095 is his current best time. The time to beat has been set by Get Owned, who's done a 133.673. So a fair bit to improve on here then, zones, but you are getting a tow, and you've... How do you not invalidate there? Dax did exactly the same line and got invalidated. Zones did that line and didn't get a warning or nothing. So, interesting.
Your eyes on Brownie. Purple Sector 1 to his name. If you can link up the rest of this track, no one else is currently on a purple lap. So he could be mixing it with the likes of Get Owned and Dax at the top of this timing sheet. Green Sector 2, no surprise there. Just look a little bit messy through the chicane though. It's not an easy chicane, it's very... The curbs are quite high through there, you can bounce quite easily off them. And I'm watching Brownie here. I think Brownie could be putting this one near the front. I reckon he's going to split Get Owned and Dax on this lap. Assuming he doesn't invalidate.
Here's zones then. Clean lap, it seems, has not invalidated. Does cross the line and does invalidate. He did invalidate. He was 8/10 faster. Bear that in mind. 8/10 faster. That was a 133.3 right there.
So Brownie did improve. He did a 34.2. He did a purple sector 1, but the rest of the sectors he was just quite far off the pace. He was 0.3 off in the second sector and half a second off in the third.
I mean, sector 2 you can say, well, that's the tow.
Yeah.
But I mean, Get Owned is obviously whether he managed to get the time without the requirement of the tow. So I don't know. Brownie really needs to improve drastically, especially in sector 3.
He just lost loads of time in that final sector. He was up by about a 10th at the end of the first sector on Dax, who had the fastest first sector. Get Owned is actually slightly slower in that sector, but yeah, if Brownie just managed to put that final sector together, he might have been at the front, if not just behind Get Owned, where I said he was going to be.
Now, there is McLaren of Hittinen, who is on a hot lap. He's coming up behind Brownie, although Brownie will probably be out of the way, not a problem. Keep an eye out for Hittinen then. Let's see if he can chuck in a good time on these mediums. There is a very solid opportunity for him now to get into the top 10 on these mediums, so that'd be a good starting point for him if he can do that. Because then when he goes on to the latest strategy, he could actually go for the softer tyre towards the end and get a lot of pace and time out of it, and hopefully a few overtaking opportunities. Here he comes then through the final few. Don't hit that wall on the right. That wall, like you said, in the official F1 claimed a few cars. Is it going to claim anybody else we've seen in the Grand Prix? But here comes Hittinen, final corner, very wide there on the apex, did not touch it. And there's a 136.5. It's a full second down on Kimi's.
He did a 135 on the nose, but got invalidated. Final sector invalidation for him.
Feels sad.
So he would have been above Kimi's. What have you seen?
It's that time of the session. It's the calm before the storm where everybody's in the pits, although not Hittinen or Dax. as they are prepping themselves for their final push. What strategy are they going to go for? What tyres are they going to choose? And how are they going to attack this final hot lap? It's going to be a rough one if they do any of this wrong, especially that S section in the first sector. Could seriously have some problems.
I'm kind of worried about the bottom three. They've not put a time on the board at all yet. Okay, yes, Rupert and Smeech, if they go out on those tyres, they'll get a chance to put in a couple of laps on them if they want to. They don't have to. They may feel that it's going to be detrimental to their race to risk an extra lap for the sake of one position, which is probably true, isn't it? Would you want to do an extra flying lap on a set of tyres?
No.
That's going to gain you one place? Probably not.
No, definitely not.
Because they're fighting with Kimmys and Hittinen at the moment on these mediums. Boomstock should leapfrog them all, but you never know. There's yellow flags flying off all over the areas. People are taking their sweet time getting around this track. Where's Zones? Zones is on his way.
So Dax is the first to do a hot lap, I believe. No, he's
Yes.
not. Yes, sorry. I was looking at the wrong car. Yeah, Dax is off and underway now then. He's doing this on softs, remember, so if he does try this, and if he does go for more than one lap, he's really shot himself in the foot. Because again, this is a track where the softs just disintegrate. This area of the track here is where that will happen. And as tyre wear starts to kick in, watch the car's rear end start to step out. There's an opportunity where they could very easily get onto that curb I was telling you earlier. And I've seen some, well, we both, me and you, have seen some horrific crashes there. And Zones and Dax going again.
Yeah, and if Dax can up his game, actually, he might be able to get a two off Smeed on the second straight. Smeed is just ahead of Zones, probably about a second or second and a half in front. If he gets close enough, Smeed will get out of the way and he'll be right on his rear, potentially. And he might actually benefit from this. Look how close he is.
Yeah.
He's going to get a little... It's not going to be as good a toe as he just got from Zones. I think this could be P1 right here.
Oh, Smeed didn't realise what was happening until it was too late. And now Dax has gained two cars worth of tow. And yeah, so he's a tenth and a bit up, which is not enough, in my opinion, to secure P1 comfortably. He's going to need to keep going throughout this final sector and really reel that time in.
He was 180 1800ths of a second faster than his previous best in sector 2. Sorry, I was trying to find the right words to describe 0.18. 1800ths is correct, isn't it? Yes. I was going with 1.8, that's not right. Final corner then. Is it provisional pole?
Oh.
Not.
He lost time in the third
Look how close
sector.
it is.
Yeah, he's really, really right on that limit. But honestly, Zones is going to get this. When Zones gets that toe from Dax, which he absolutely is going to get, Zones is going to be so fast. Remember, he set a 1:33.3 earlier, which got invalidated, yeah, but I don't think we can overlook that. We have to keep an eye on him. I think he will easily get this.
If Zones gets this, that's my prediction 100%. Zones get owned Dax. Come on, Zones.
Hittenen's done 3 laps on the mediums.
Hittenen's drunk. Don't worry about him.
Is he actually?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
Who should we look at? Euless is on his way. One of the next men to... He is the next man to finish a lap, and it will be the final lap going on now then. Kimmy's is done for. He's still in the pits. So the best he's getting is P8, and I suspect he might end up with P11. Unless Euless does things like that.
That's fine. I've seen so many people do that line now. I didn't realise you could even do that. He was absolutely off track, but he's still gaining time from it. I thought that was an invalidation there, but no, it's okay. Here we go then to the line. It was improved, but it was invalidated. A 1:33.4 was the time he set, which would have been pole.
Yeah. Whereas Get Owned and Zones is on his way. Get Owned is on his way as well. Next up is going to be Smeege. Next man to finish a lap. Yellow in sector 3. That's just cars getting out of the way of the fast ones. Smeege followed closely by Zones.
He's mod
Smeege
one
is in the
though.
pits.
Oh, that's not good.
I don't think he's going to get this.
Oh.
No.
He was faster. He was actually on pole, albeit by just 200ths of a second, but still, he invalidated again. It just shows how much people are struggling on this track.
Wow's back. Get Owned just backed off, but Brownie hasn't backed off. Wow.
Hello. Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Brownie. It's great to see you show your face. A 1:33.631. That is a time and a half. Now we're just waiting on Wild's Cross. He's done it. It's a 1:34.107. He was just slightly slower than his previous best, but he's right there in P5. There's an opportunity then for him down the DRS straights to get an overtaking procedure overdone. And the only person who couldn't set a time on the board, Smeege.
Yeah, but he's the type of driver that is going to love this race because everyone else is going to be picking up penalties left, right, and centre. He's the type of driver that will get 1, 2 at most, and he will just jump at the position.
Do you have your dice ready? Because you're going to need them. But whilst you're getting them handy, the qualifying rundown is as follows. Brownie on pole, albeit just because Geton and Dax are right on the back of him in second and third. Zones in fourth with Wow there in fifth. Euless in 6th with Boomsong 7th, Hitton in 8th, Rupert 9th, Kimmies is in 10th place, and Smeege, who just couldn't get a time on the board, is down there in P11. Will get the opportunity to choose whatever tyre he wants going into this, and will be the only person on track on brand spanking new tyres.
Right, I have the dice ready.
Okay.
I have one dice that's going to determine how many safety cars we're going to have.
Oh, yes.
It's a D4. The answer is... That can't be right. That says 4. So that dice is broken. Right, I've got a D12. So let's go to the D12 for 11 drivers. That seems logical to me, doesn't it?
So if you get number 12, you're just going to re-roll?
Yeah, you're going to have to.
Okay.
Unless someone else says something up here. Right.
P1.
Oh, shit. Number 10.
Which
10th place. It was 10th.
Who is that? Boomsong, wasn't it?
That was Kimmy.
Was it Kimmy's?
No offense to Kimmy. He's not going to win this.
Well, he's on medium, so he's got a good opportunity from a strategy perspective. I honestly wouldn't rule the medium runners out yet.
Number 4, Zones. So Kimmy's, Zones, followed by number 3, Dax. That would be a great race.
Yeah, that would be mental.
And the number of positions Smeege is going to gain is going to be 5. So Smeege is going to gain 5 places.
I can believe that. That's actually a prediction I can fully back there.
You can't back the rest of the dice, though.
I think 4 safety cars would just be mental. I don't think we're going to see 4 safety cars, but Smeege has gone on the hards, so expect him to go hards to softs. That is the one-stop strategy here. Towards the end of the race, he will be pretty rapid. The problem is, though, those softs will not last long at all, and as his car starts to lose that bit of weight from all the fuel, he will be in a position where he'll be able to chuck in some ridiculous lap times. I think your dice might have got him perfectly nailed on the head there. I think he might get 5 places again.
P6 then, you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely.
Should I roll another one to see how many places he's going to gain through penalties?
I honestly think this is going to be the biggest penalty fest ever. I think this is going to be... Whoa, look at Euless zipping around there.
I was just looking at Boomsong. He's going from side to side, literally. He's touching the off the track every single turn.
He's just warming those tyres up, getting them ready, that's all. So, my prediction then, Brownie, P1, 100%. I don't think I could ever look away from him. Like I say, captain consistency for a reason, able to keep the penalties under control, able to chuck in ridiculous lap times, and just in general, enjoy the session. P2, though, is where it starts to become a little bit more of a lottery. I genuinely don't know.
Would you like to borrow dice?
I may need one, honestly. It's I'm going to chuck in there. I'm going to go Wow P2.
Ooh.
Because of penalties. Hitton and P3.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was looking at Hitton and he's a very good driver. He's just tailed off in the last few months, really. He was involved in the Challenger Series or one of those eSport qualification events quite a lot. And I can't remember how far he got in that, but he was involved in that. So he does have pace, but to see him in F2 kind of questions, do you actually have pace or did you just really practice those tracks a lot? I'm not putting him down at all. It's a bit unusual to see him this slow down.
Yeah. Well, here we go then. We are on the grid for the last time this season. The lights are on also for the last time this season, and we are about to get gone here in Abu Dhabi. It's go time, and Brownie's got a really solid start, but so has Get Earned. He's right there on the inside. Could easily get a slip down the inside. Dax is there too, but he can't. They all have to filter single file. Dax is really starting to close in. There is a change further downfield as Rupert's managed to get ahead of Hittinen, and so far it looks clean.
Yeah, there's a little touch between Hittinen and Rupert, but nothing came of it. Ferrari's making moves at the boomstock on. Wow, he's looked, didn't go for it, but he might fancy. Wow, big jump off the boomstock, gets a tank slapper coming off the corner. Eulis going round the outside now. Boomstock side by side, they go off the corner, and they are going to be side by side down the straight. Eulis has the nose ahead. Boomstock slots in behind. It's got board with Boomstock. Can see he's going to have to go for it. He can't not go for it now. He's right up the rear. It's out of the slipstream. Last late breakers. Boomstock. He's not last late breakers. Eulis is very late, but locks up.
Oh, contact.
Boomstock booms into the side of him and takes the escape roads, and Eulis is now back down to P11 after that contact. Unfortunate there for Eulis.
Yep, very unfortunate. It was just a little nudge there. I think that was on Boomstock. I don't think we can blame Eulis for that one at all. He was very unfortunate it happened. He has fallen to dead last, but he's still relatively in this. He didn't fully rotate the car, but he did lose a fair bit. Kimmy's and Hittinen going side by side. They've swapped places a couple of times. Hittinen's back up to P8 again, but then Kimmy's is coming right back at him again, but he is on the outside. Hittinen's got the better line. This is going to be really tough for Kimmy's to hold this together, and he has just about held on. He's got the inside for the next. I think he's got it. Yes, he has. Yep. Wow, Kimmy's well held there.
Yeah, he had the pace around the outside. That was his advantage. And then, because he could then take it around the outside of 17, he'll be on the inside for 18 and 19. And those slow corners meant that he would take the place, and did so. Up to P8 now for him. As Smeege's doing well to hold on to the back of these guys. Smeege on the hards, the guys in front on the mediums. And the softs aren't streaking away just yet. I know we've only had one lap, but sometimes you do see him just start going like the clappers. As Zones wishes he can go like the clappers past Dax. He's right up on that gearbox.
Yeah, and we know that these two very much talk to each other during the race. We saw what they do in the qualifying, and we're going to see the team work together here because they're going to try and help each other catch up to the pack. Mud4 was initiated there for Zones to try and help him get past, so he is ahead of Dax now. But again, it's going to be a toe-for-toe kind of situation where Dax is on the back of him, looking for the opportunity to close in as quick as possible.
Yeah, Moore moving back there. Smeege just dropped to the back of the pack. It looks like he might have had contact then with, I think it was Hittinen. So Smeege drops to the very back. There's a lot of movement going on, and we've not even had DRS enabled yet. Should we have a look at the big movers? I mean, I say big movers, but there's a few people that gained a couple, and Eulis has dropped 4. So it feels like there's been a lot more action than that.
It's been really good in terms of, like, look at Hittinen and Kimmy's. They were side by side throughout the entirety of the bit under the hotel, and they managed to keep it clean. There was no damage, no real contact, and Kimmy's ended up benefiting from this. He's up into P8 now. Your prediction for Kimmy's P1 still not ruled out yet.
It's going to be a tricky one for him.
Stay optimistic. The dice never lie.
Unless they're weighted.
Well, that's true. DRS has been enabled then. We are going to see it on this lap as well. Twice, in fact, as we have 2 long straights. There's, wow, oh, he ran very wide there. That curve, like I was saying, if you run wide onto it, it will kill you. It will not hesitate to do that. So just make sure that you take it as tidy as possible. And I think, wow, we might get Dax here. Dax has really fallen off here.
I was just keeping my eyes on Get Owned. He does have DRS on the race leader, but he's not going to be close enough this time. There is a second detection point after the corner, so important that if you want that second DRS, then you have to stay behind after the corner. The detection point, I'm aboard Get Owned, is there, literally just after it. As I said, the moment you straighten up, there's the detection point. And Get Owned is... Is he gonna... No, he's too far back. I thought he was going to be close enough. Didn't close as much as I was expecting.
If he'd have stayed in Mud 4, he would have had him, 100%. He actually moved to Mud 0 too quickly. Boom's gone. Where's he going? He's going on a holiday. And he no! Big contact there. That's put him off into the wall, and I think he's decided. That's it. Yeah, he's left. That was a very, very frustrated driver there, who's taken off as quick as possible. So his car is still alive. We might. Oh, we've got virtual safety car. Yeah,
100% Boomstock's fault there. He's trying to rejoin the track when there wasn't a space, so the only person he can blame is himself.
Yeah.
If you go off, you have to rejoin the track safely. He did not rejoin the track safely. And we're seeing penalties starting to fly as Rupert picks up one.
I think it's the second, isn't it?
That's his first. Kimi's has one. Ulyss has one as well. But the softs taking advantage of this virtual safety car to pit onto the mediums. Little Erdin potentially could have done. I think they might. I'm not sure if they're going to be alright from here.
No, they're not going to one-stop this. 100%, they're not one-stopping. This is soft, mediums, mediums is what they're doing here. They've definitely got the tyres to do it, and they've got the pace and consistency to do it, especially Brownie does. Now that the virtual safety car has been resumed, and they've managed to get a whole pit stop in that time. So the time lost overall is tiny, but Getone is round the back of Brownie. This is about to be a resummation of the attack we saw earlier, but he decided not to do. A little bit of a touch there from Getone into the back of Brownie, but again, here we go then. DRS overtake likely going to happen. Slipstream being fully utilised. Mode 4 on the ERS. Toe is looking good, and the pass is looking very simple, but Brownie's right there. He's going to be the last late breakers. He's somebody you can rely on for this. That's why he's still alongside of him. Getone very much gets bullied to the outside, and here comes Zones. Just slides on through, and he's going to get 2 for 1. He's got a buy one, get one free special going on that no one else is allowed to see. Here he comes again round the outside. We saw what Brownie did on the last braking zone into the chicane. I think he might get it, but he's gone very deep. Zones had to back out because he knows where Brownie's going. Can he get down the inside? It's not going to work out. Brownie with the defensive moves of a champion. He holds them back, but Getone loses out.
Shazoo tactics right there for you. They're working together to keep each other in the race. Getone didn't do anything wrong. He tried to make a move on Brownie. Brownie blocked him. Zone just went, okay, I'll have that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's the situation you have when you go for a gamble like that. When you try to take that overtake and you get forced into the outside line. Brownie made that very clear from the start of that move. He was holding the inside. There's no way I'm letting you through here. I have to keep it in order for me to do what I did, which is hold you back.
Yep. And worked well for Brownie, worked well for Zones, worked terribly for Getone. He's actually fallen off the back a little bit as well. And he's now going to have to use this DRS to catch or hold with Zones. Zones, I suspect, might be going past Brownie, but we thought that last lap. And Getone didn't. So
as soon as Zones and Getone came up behind me, he's got him here. Look at that. That was nice and simple. Brownie even knows that so much that he's going to have to just fall in behind him. But there will be a reverse of DRS. I think Brownie's running lower wings because the second Zones or Getone got out of the toe of Brownie, the pace just suddenly dropped off and Brownie was much faster. Watch how he does this here. He's gone to mode 0, so he's definitely not looking to get him. But he's really closing in. And my prediction for Hittinen is not looking good. That's the second, I think, penalty.
Yeah. I mean, we could do a penalty rundown already because there's been a fair few and there's still more coming in.
We have to hold that thought because Hittinen's on the back of Kimi, so there was an opportunity there for him to slide down, but he chose to hang back, and I think that was the right decision. And Getone's there on the back of Brownie as well. That could easily change. I think go for it now whilst we can, I think. Okay,
so Wow's on 3, Rupert's on 3, Kimi's on 3, Hittinen's on 6. 0 then for Zones, Smeege, Brownie, Getone. Dax and Ulyss are on 3, and Butok is on 0. Ulyss is now on 6 to go with that extra penalty he's just got.
Zones and Smeege swap places. Zones has just managed to get past him. That is the hard tyres for Smeege. Really sort of letting him down a little bit there. Here's Brownie then on the back of Smeege as well. Bear in mind that these guys will need to pit again if they're on the mediums right now because they're not making it to the end. He's going to go for a send it move. This is going to be tense. He's going to be tight. Oh, he's ran a bit wide. Contact. Contact between the two. Smeege is somehow still alive and somehow did not get damaged. But Smeege is, you could see the anger in his eyes there. He was ready to get him. But no, he held himself back. He restrained himself, but he knows he is not happy with the situation that happened between him and Brownie. I wouldn't be surprised if Smeege goes for a lunge here.
No, he won't. He won't.
Oh, he almost did it. Getone is slipping through as well. He's going for the move, and here comes the Ferrari of Dax. He's managed to just get past, and if you're Smeege, you are disheartened at how much everyone's just flying past you, but you also have to remember, you are on those harder tyres. It's not going to go well for you initially, and they keep it clean through that chicane.
Smeege, unlucky there for Smeege. His head got to him there, I think, potentially. Yeah, that little contact with Brownie. And you saw as they approached turn 7, he sort of aimed at the back end of Brownie. He wasn't aiming for the gap. He said, "I'm getting you." Then he realised, actually, hang on, I probably shouldn't here.
Yeah.
I'll leave.
There's like a moment of where I better not do this because that's not how we drive here. And
You won't like me when I'm angry.
yeah. It was good to see he was able to snap himself back out of it. But Zones now says the fastest lap, 137.873. So brilliant lap time so far, considering the tyre situation and the weight of the car. It's really starting to lift the benchmark. Oh, I've seen everyone run wide. Dax ran wide, Get Owned ran wide, Brownie ran wide. I think Smeej ran wide as well. Yellow flag sector 1-2. Who's that? That's a Renault. It's Kimmy's.
That's Kimmy's. Oh, there goes my prediction. Where's he going? He just
reversed.
reversed into the wall.
And he's retired.
Well, we've had one virtual safety car. That counts as part of mine, doesn't it? Will we get another one here?
May even get a
We're
full
gonna find
safety
out.
car here. He's still on track.
He's
There he
retired.
is.
He's not just left the session. There's a difference. Might be okay. He parks in a... The AO's parks in a relatively okay area, not in the firing line. Don't know if it works like that. It's clear.
And he's gone. So we're all good. No safety car then. Zone's there on the back of Hitton, and here he goes for a move down the inside. I can't see because the camera's changed, and here we go. Zones is through. Beautiful overtake. Hitton gave him plenty of room, so I don't need to fight you. This is not my battle right now. Although they are on pretty similar tyre situations, but Hitton will probably need to pit again. I don't know if he's going to... He's definitely surely not going to try this. He has to go mediums, softs, honestly. So I wouldn't be surprised if he pitted shortly.
My early maths, however trustworthy it is, says the mediums from this point can get to the end. They'll be very nasty on the final lap, though.
For who? For
over
Zones
70%.
and the others?
Well, for everyone who's currently on the mediums who've already pitted.
Okay, yeah. So the ones that were on softs, that went to mediums, those are the ones that we think should take it to the end. But this also stands well for WoW, because he's just pitted now. Oh, we've lost Euless. Where is that? That's
Virtual...
under the hotel, isn't it?
That is on the exit of the hotel. That is at turn 19. Boomstock is on his way there. Be there a little bit, but he's hit the wall that Vessel hit. Is it Vessel? Went into that one. I think it was, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah. It was one of the Ferraris. I remember that one. I don't think it was Leclerc's. I think, if I remember correctly, he finished the race.
I think it was actually through in practice, but is this wall here? If you're on board with Boomstock on the right-hand side, you can see where it's hit the barriers as well.
Yeah.
But I'm nearly there. That's 2 virtual safety cars. I predicted 4 safety cars. So I'm counting virtual as 1.
Yeah, okay.
Half.
I'll give you that. I said it has the word safety car in it.
It does.
I will give you that. Oh, get under the time penalty now then. He's really just shot himself in the foot a little bit. Brownie's looking for the restart.
Go.
Didn't see anyone get penalties, but I'm looking at the pace that Brownie's got onto Hittonen. This is going to be a dive attempt. He's backed out just. He almost clipped the back of that McLaren. That would have been horrific news for both of them, because that would have been Brownie in the steward's office. He may still find himself there later, but at the minute, staying as is. Hittonen is going to be feeling the pressure very shortly.
Yeah, there's a little train stand form as well. Hitton and Brownie going, and Dax all lining up, hoping for an opportunity to pass. As we are now down to 9 drivers, so if you finish, you get points. Oh no, sorry, we're down to 8 drivers.
Yeah,
So tactics now can change for some. People have an accident, they might as well keep going.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. I think you're going to get points regardless, but again, I suppose at the same time, it's like, am I going to get anything from this? If the answer is no, then I suppose you're already decided enough. Many things could go wrong from that point as well. Smeej is not moving. He's had an issue on the home straight. He's got damage on the right side. I don't know how bad. Dax is retired.
Dax is gone. That's on the S's.
An official safety car. Official safety car now. That's 3. So we are almost there. Dax is a big off there. That is huge.
That's just lost the back end going around that corner, but looks it probably took too much of the curb on 2 into 3 and just lost the back end. Became uncontrollable. So who's that? Oh, that's the safety. That's a dirty colour for a safety car on the track map. It's just sort of like
muddy pink,
muddy, ready. Yeah, I was
like a very
who's that?
dirty pink. Like if Racing Point started doing off-roading, that's what it'd look like.
Yeah, okay.
All right, safety car's out, so that means that these guys are all going to pit for another set of mediums, more than likely. Smeej will pit no doubt, will get a wing replaced and will go for medium, so he will be on the par with everyone else, but will be at the back of the grid. Like, there's no... Well, sorry, he'll be P7 still. He's not lost anything. He's not gained anything because Boomsunk is way too far back, and he will still have that opportunity.
If you were well, would you pit?
No. You'd be... His tyres are brand new. Everyone's going to have to pit. He gets to jump to P1. All he has to do is just try and fight and hold everyone back. Why won't he?
I don't think he's close enough to the cars in front to jump.
He's only 11 seconds off.
Oh no, the Mercedes is going to double stack. Or not. Yes, they are. They are. Oh, Zone's race.
No, he's out. He stayed out. He stayed out.
He had to.
Oh, that was scary. The Zone's knows now. He's in trouble. The Zone's knows. This is where it gets very, very difficult for him.
He didn't have a choice. He had to stay out there. Either that or sinks to the very back.
I don't think that was a problem. Or why would you not double stack on a safety car? You're not losing anything. The pack is going to back up again. Now he's going to lose everything. He's going to lose absolutely everything here now.
He's going to lose even more if he hits the back of the safety car.
Yeah, I saw that. I was panicking for a second.
Safety car's a bit injustice. But he can still finish the race on these mediums. That's the only thing going for him. Well, I was going for hards. He's not confident. These mediums will last the end of the race.
That's a big mistake from WoW. 100% that's a mistake. WoW had the opportunity there to take P1 and run with this. And now he's
going for a completely different.
Oh, that's raw. Listen to that. Smidge through that tunnel. If next time someone goes in the pit, so when Zones goes in, listen to that bit under the tunnel. That is such a glorious sound.
Yeah, I think Zones is in the right and the wrong place. That's the problem.
Yeah.
If he stopped, he would have been right at the very back of the train. If he didn't stop, he would take the lead. He'd be able to finish the race on these tyres, but he'll be under so much pressure from everyone else behind. This is going
to take a masterclass of driving from Zones to get back into race lead, race win position. He's made a mistake by not double stacking, in my opinion. You won't lose anything from double stacking. You're going to pit now. If you pit now, you're guaranteeing you're falling to the back of the grid, 100%. If you double stack with Rupert, there's a very solid possibility he may still come out in front of Smidge at least because he had wing replaced.
But he can pit now and still come out ahead of Smidge.
I don't think he will.
I think he will.
Because Smidge can go as fast as he wants right now. Look at him flying.
He'll come out ahead of Smidge, I reckon.
Do you want to put a drink on it?
Well, you already owe me... Is it 1 or 2 you owe me?
2 now. Do I put a third one in there?
Well, you're going to hear the roar through the pits in a second. It's going to be tight. I think he's got it, though.
Oh, no, I think you might be right.
I know
we didn't agree on this. You never agreed to it.
No.
Yeah, see, I was right.
It's because he's Mercedes.
Now we agreed to it.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
He almost hit the wall as well. But this is what I'm saying now. Now look, he's behind Boom as well, who, bear in mind, is an AI, and he's not allowed to overtake it. Under safety car conditions, he's not allowed to overtake it. Luckily, Boom has now slotted into the back of Smidge.
I would have stayed out if I was Zones.
No, it's a big mistake in my opinion. Double stack on a safety car every single time, 100%.
Well, we'll see what he can do. He's going to be starting 8th on the restart. I hope that restart will be happening at the end of this lap. We'll find out at the end of the second sector, which is after the next straight, not the one they're currently finishing. If you've got the track map on, you can see the little white line going across the track. Gives you a little clue where the end of the sector.
Yeah. Hopefully... Oh, who's that? Wow, he's gone right off the track there. I think he's really trying to warm these tyres up and just lost the rear a bit too much.
It's on the hards.
Yeah, that in itself is a big mistake. Safety car's in this lap then. So we know now what Zones has to do and how hard he's going to have to do it. WoW, I think, has made a big boo-boo by choosing those hards. He's basically just put himself dead last. He's still going to be a P7.
Zones is getting impatient.
Yeah.
He's trying to get through Boomshot quite literally.
Race leader has backed off from the safety car so early. He's already back in the pack up. Is he allowed to stay there? I don't think he is. Zones has passed Boone.
Oh, so you can see if he gets a penalty, then it's a big mistake. But they're all bunching up. Seems to have got away with it.
Yeah, no penalty yet.
Was it well ahead of behind Speech? Or no, he wasn't, was he?
Right, we're off again then. Rupert is going to be the leader of this race. He managed to sort out the safety car restart pretty well, but Hittonen was not really caught out. He's right there on the back of him. This is not over yet. We won't have DRS for another 2 laps, remember, so don't worry about going down those back straights. The toe will still be strong, but I think we're looking good here from Rupert's position. He does have a lot of penalties though.
Want to keep my eyes on Wow, see how he's going to handle on this area, especially with these cold, hard tyres on that car. He seems to be okay so far, but how is he going to get the power down?
Oh, Zones almost went down the inside of Smeege. It was very touch and go, but somehow Zones has not gained that position. Smeege on Wow though, he might get it here. He's got the full mode 4 on. He's going everything for this. Looking for the outside line. He's flicked over to the inside. Wow's going to be left out hanging to dry, and he's found out that is definitely the case. Wow for the corner. Here comes Zones. He's through as well, but Zones is also going to look for that move on Smeege. This is 6th to 5th if he can get this done. Mode 4 throughout. Smeege will be doing exactly the same. How can he fare from this? Here he comes. I can't see the camera again. Changing. Oh, a little bit of touch between the two, but Smeege still somehow holds on to P5, and Zones is going deep. That was risky. Very risky there from Zones.
Yeah, Wow, still trying to hold on to the back of these guys, but he's going to be struggling so much for grip. Oh, and they're nearly struggling for grip into the back of Zones, but gets away with that one. And so these guys are actually losing a lot of time to the guys in front. Already a second and a half down on the back of Get Owned after only a lap. They need to up their game if they want a chance of taking the podium. Any of these guys, really.
Well, Zones still doesn't have a penalty, at least, I don't think. And if he can maintain that throughout, then he'll be laughing. But he needs to make quick work of Smeege now. He's being held back so much by Smeege's pace as it stands. Everyone else is running away. He's just not able to get in. Smeege has lost the rear. He's off. That is a big off, but he's kept himself alive. That was very well held from Smeege, but he did get a penalty by turning in just a little bit too much. So it's not all for nothing. He did lose a place and a penalty, but he does now have the toe and DRS on Zones. This would be a disaster for Zones if Smeege finds a way to get past again.
I think Smeege is just happy to still be facing the right direction at this point. Took out a couple of signs on his way. I saw polystyrene flying across the track. Hopefully it was just polystyrene, not wings. It looks okay on the wing front, so... Yeah, that is the section I really hate. That turn 3 and 4. Just run a little wide on 3, and all of a sudden you're going over the big bumps on turn 4. And it's so easy to lose the back end while you're flying into the air.
Yeah. Alright, Hittonen is now so much closer to Rupert than he has been for a while. And the gap is closing in quite nicely. Zones is really eating into that time he's got with him and Get Owned. Look at this. This is beast mode activated. He has properly gone all out for this. He's now almost back in DRS range of Get Owned, which is crucial because that will bring him in DRS range of race lead as they're all 4 cars. That was a bit of a lag there for Brownie. He's lost a position as a result, although they are together side by side, literally inside of each other, and Brownie is back in a P3.
DRS has been enabled. We have done 3 laps now since the safety car has gone back in, so DRS will be available on the straights, the big straights even, not all straights because there's a lot of little straights. But Rupert nearly breaking out that 1 second window on Hittonen. He was 9/10. He's still hovering around that point. DRS detection point is just coming up. I don't think he's going to get it now. He's just closed up a little bit as Hittonen. But Zones has got within DRS of Get Owned, so he will be using that to catch up with the pack a little bit as he looks to get a bad drive off the corner. He's dropped back at 2/10.
Oh, Hittonen is really fast coming in on Rupert. This is definitely going to be a lunge. I just decided against it. That could have been it. He could have easily had it. A little bit of a touch there between the two, but somehow they keep it clean. Rupert will stay in P1 for now, but another DRS zone here means Rupert has really got to hope all of his prayers get answered. I think the answer is no. You may want to choose a new religion because Hittonen gets past him. That is P1 currently for Hittonen. Brownie on the back of Rupert as well.
Yeah, Brownie's looking to leap this He's doing a fantastic job out there today. 0 penalties to his name, similar with zones. So as this race develops, keep your eyes on those 2 drivers to potentially do some leapfrogging at the checker flag. Penalty run down quickly, hitting in 6, Rupert 3. I say Brownie 0, Get Own 3, Zone 0, Smege 3, Wow is on 6, and Boom is not actually in the race anymore.
Rupert gets another one though, so he's now tied it with Hittinen. Hittinen will stay P1 if it was just those 2 on the track, but we do have Brownie, like you said, 0 seconds of penalty, so he's absolutely P1 right now. I don't think he is aware though, because he's driving like he needs way more than that.
Brownie's one of the drivers who will be fully aware of penalties because he sits here with our stream open.
Ah, well, there you go then. Oh no, Sons! Big late lunch, and he just makes a big mistake. He was so late on the brakes, and that's cost him. And he almost goes into the side of Smege, and somehow Wow dodges him as well, but he's come back. Wow's going to be there alongside of him, just about, but no, yeah, he's actually going for a move. A little bit of contact as well onto Zones' car, and Zones with that massive attempt to go for it. And now Brownie's going for Rupert. I'll come back to Zones in a second because Brownie's taking the outside line. We saw what happened last time. This happened. There's almost more contact as Brownie goes so close to the back of Hittinen. He will get DRS on Hittinen, sorry, and Rupert will have DRS on Brownie, but Brownie is looking good. Zones really made a big mistake there.
I missed it unfortunately, but he's going to make a move here on Wow. Relatively simple, soft, mediums versus hards, and through goes Zones. Wow does give him a little bit of a nudge, but it's almost to say, just go. And gets a penalty to boot. Puts himself onto 9 seconds penalties. It has updated.
It is a shame, but the sky's now starting to get darker, which is good news for us because we get to see the beautiful light effects this game has. Get on getting a penalty then. He was the other driver, wasn't he, that didn't have a penalty, or is he now on 6?
Zones is on 3. He's the...
Get on, sorry.
Get on, sorry. He's on 6. Yeah. I thought he said Zones, who did just get a penalty.
I may have said Zones. I may have word flubbed.
Well, Zones did get a penalty on this lap, didn't he, for his lunge.
Yeah.
And means Brownie's the only one who's penalty free as it stands. As the boom stop does pit, and we'll be even further down.
Right, Brownie then on the back of Hittinen. Pace really starting to kick in for Brownie. DRS very much available here. Hittinen trying to shake the toe. He's not going to be able to do any more than that. That was enough defending. And Brownie is on through. Hittenen's going to just sit in the back of him. Could potentially get the move back again. Get on is going to be looking for Rupert. Can't get that position just yet. It didn't quite work out for him. Again, he's got those penalties that will affect him, but he is currently level with the 2 drivers ahead of him. It's just Brownie that's so much better off right now. Hittinen coming back at Brownie. Is he going to go for the outside? Brownie covers it. He has to back out as a result. So very good moves there from Brownie. Nice and gentle. Smege has lost the position to Zones, although Smege is there on the inside. Decides it's probably not worthwhile me going into the side of Zones. So I'm going to sit tight, hold in the P6, and just see if I can use his pace. Zones loses the car a little bit and runs wide.
Yeah, very offline. Unusual there for Zones. I think that's obviously the spin earlier has just got into his mind a little bit, and he's trying now to push himself to get back up onto the back of Get Own where he once was. He's 3 seconds off the back of that, so he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to get there. And Smege, I think, just give the wall a little kiss.
Zones is really lighting those rears up. I won't be surprised if his tyres are very, very hot. Get Owned closing in on Rupert. Very close there, but Rupert got a better exit through turn 1, which is why the gap has jumped a couple of tenths. Hittenen's still within DRS range of Brownie. I've not seen any more cars die through the S section yet. Smege made it this time. Wow made it this time. No issues there then. Keep an eye out then for the front 2, because these are the next closest. And then get on Rupert, potentially.
Just so we've still got really quite... We've got quite a condensed grid still. All 7 drivers are almost within touching distance of each other.
Here comes Get On then. He's going for the inside on Rupert. Late braking again. Is Rupert going to close in on him? He's giving him plenty of space. Rupert's actually got a better line through there. Bounced off that curb just a bit too much. Who gets DRS? I think they both do. Yes, they do. Yep, Rupert's got it as well. But Get On is just running so wide. He is through. But I can't see where Rupert is. So he's falling behind him.
Yeah. Get On has made that overtake, crucial overtake for him. So now he can concentrate on the front runners. second, third, and fourth are all on same penalties, all of 3 on 6 seconds. So they are actually battling for position. Brownlee is effectively 7.1 seconds clear of hitting it at this point.
Yeah.
He's comfortable, to say the least.
Now, Zones is in P4 territory at the minute. He has got that jump done. If it stays as it is, again, Zones needs to just be careful that he doesn't cause himself
P3.
any more mischief. Because he has the 3, the others have the 6. Get on, really. Again, people spinning the rears coming out that final corner. Their tyres must be so warm if they keep doing that throughout. Just turn your differential down. Turn the on-throttle right the way to 50 if you need to. But you're going to need to nurse these tyres. You've still got 11 laps to go if you include the one they're on right now. And that's a long way to go.
Yeah, my estimate is they are going to be hitting 70% on the rear tyres, probably on the final lap, if not one before. Obviously depends on the driver themselves. I've only have a couple of bits of data on this. And so it could be an interesting final lap. I mean, Hittinen did this season have a puncher crossing the line at Baku, which I'm sure you do remember.
Yeah.
And hopefully we won't see that again today on the final corner, having a puncher and going off into the wall.
It was pretty sad, to say the least, watching that race. He was so literally 15, 20 metres away from the finish line and DNF, which was horrific. But that's the way it goes sometimes.
Brownlee's starting to pull away, but Zones needs to really catch up to this battle here. Zone gets another penalty, he will lose. He was in position of P3. He will now lose P3. He will only get 1 place, and it's only going to be just at the moment. Right on the edge is Zones.
So Zones is kind of hovering at the minute. He's not really gaining anything, but again, he doesn't have DRS. It's kind of no surprise, but Hittinen has come in. Hittinen's into the pits.
Ooh.
Softs going on the car, potentially.
Got to be.
But Softs
will do about 10.
Yeah, but it'd be risky. He's gone Softs.
It's low fuel, don't forget, so... This is an interesting call, which has no basis for logic. He's got to hope that he can absolutely nail it. He's going to come out in some completely clear air. But he does have a lot of penalties to his name. Everyone else has penalties other than Brownlee.
Now, I think this has really put Hittinen's race in the bin, honestly. I think this is the worst call he could have made. All he had to do was hang in there. Just hang in, keep racing with the others. You were on the back of Brownie for such a long time, and that wasn't going to change. He must seriously doubt that these guys can go to the end on their mediums, or doubt that his mediums are going to go to the end.
That's all I can think as well. He must be thinking that I'm not going to get these to the end. I better pit now before they completely fall off, and I have 2 laps left where I can't recover anything. He's come in early, banking on the fact that his tyres aren't going to make it. He thinks they aren't going to make it to the end. We'll see. I mean, he's got 13 seconds to catch up to Wow, so he's got a lot of clear air. And I mean, he should be able to do 137s, maybe 136. Everyone else is doing 38s and 39s. So we'll see.
So there has been a request in the chat for a penalty rundown.
Bagel. It's bagel for Brownie.
Yeah, big donut.
Well, we're not at a straight at the moment, so...
Let's have a full penalty rundown, please, sir.
Brownie is on 0, Get Owned and Rupert are on 6, Zones and Smeege are on 3, Wow is unfortunately for him on 12, and Hittinen is on 6. So Brownie comfortably, very comfortably, should we say, in the lead with 0 penalties to his name. Even if he gets 1, it's not going to ruin anything for him at this stage, unless that 1 comes with the crash.
Yeah. That would be horrific. He's had such a good race so far. There's only one moment, really, where he made any sort of questionable decisions, which was a send move that almost killed Smeege. And then Smeege almost killed him back as a repayment. Wow's actually in a great position. Look at this. He's on the back of Smeege on 10-lap-old hards. Wow could actually... I think this is now a point where Wow's tyres are actually better than those on the mediums. And now there he goes.
I think Wow's made the right call here.
I wouldn't say that, but look at the way that they're battling together. They are dancing hard, and Smeege is going to get the run through the exit, and he's already got that position back. So whilst Wow did make a good attempt to get the pace down and get back in front of him, Smeege just got the exit of dreams, and now, well, look at it. That's exactly what happens if you have a little bit of an accident on the exit of that chicane. In answer to your question, no. I still think that WoW has shot himself in the foot. But these guys that have been really pushing their car a little bit too much, they're going to start to lose pace now.
Yeah, because WoW needs to basically lap a second slower than Hitton to hold his place. And I don't think he's going to be able to achieve that. We'll get Hitton's first flying lap coming in momentarily, but he's already carved that gap down between himself and WoW to less than 10 seconds when it was about 13 when he came out.
Yeah,
So
I am going to, for WoW's sake, I am going to base his decision, as in my judgment on his decision, on where he crosses the line. Not where his penalties place him, but where he crosses the line. Although I'm watching the way he's going to take this one, he had to lift there because that was getting very dicey. Could have easily run wide or lost the car. Still here with Smeege though. Still here with an opportunity to get that position back. This time needs to make sure that the chicane is handled correctly this time.
So Hitton gained 2 seconds on Brownie that lap. This is a 37.2 compared to Brownie's 39.2. Everyone else is in the high 39s, low 40s, except for Hitton, who's in the low 37s. So I think he might be able to get his position back. I can't see him getting much more from this race.
Now, I'm watching Zones this time, and he's not really gaining anything here. He's just hovered around that 2.2, 2.1. Here it is then, lunge from WoW. It's going to be a very late break, and he's gone into the side of him. That was a very late break, and poor Smeege, he's just getting battered and bruised by everybody, and somehow his wing is still intact. In fact, the only time his wing had to be replaced was from a mistake that he made himself. So it's very, very hard times for Smeege. It's been a very difficult race, but to still be in P5 with the potential of gaining more than that, depending on the penalties of everyone else around him, this is still looking pretty decent for Smeege.
Yeah, Rupert's come in. He's thinking he's not going to make it to the end. I think Rupert was one of the ones I thought was going to. Oh, no, it's not. So I do think 70%, which is sort of like, that's the point which she might start getting punches. It's around 70%. It's going to be around the last lap. It could be on the final lap. It could be at the end of the lap before. Is it a risk that you're willing to take? That's the question they're going to be asking themselves right now. I think
honestly,
the fact...
Go on.
I was going to say, I think the fact they've not pitted yet means they're willing to risk it.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I think Brownie will still... I think he'll stick these tyres... Well, now he's definitely sticking these tyres to the end. But I think he'll also be very comfortable. I don't think he's got anything to worry about. He's the guy who is very good at managing it. Here goes WoW then, yeah. He's going for that move, and that's the job done. You can hear the audience clapping around. Smeege will get this back, though. Keep an eye on the DRS overtake. It's coming straight back at him.
The cars that are involved in that overtake down there.
Yeah.
Haas versus Renault.
Yeah. We've seen how that pans out. That was 2 years ago now, wasn't it?
It wasn't the season gone.
A year and a half.
Before that, yeah. Well, yeah, about a year and 3 months. That's one of the last big crashes, I'd say.
Well, would you say Leclerc's crash was a big crash in Hungary?
Hungary, which one? So I think I fell asleep.
Baku as well. I mean, that's a momentous one, wasn't it?
He just piled into the barrier. There's nothing spectacular about it.
It was a big hit.
It's a big hit, but it wasn't spectacular. He just drove into a barrier. I'd do that every day.
Kubica, Japan?
I'm trying to remember them all now.
Oh, Zones is in. Okay, he's gone soft as well. This is odd.
They're leaving it very late.
Why would you not just take that risk now? Because now you've just signed your race away. I mean, ultimately, Zones will gain on both of them if he can chuck down ridiculous lap times.
He's got to be hoping the guys on the mediums get punches. And if they do, as it stands, WoW's in a very good place. I think you're where did you put WoW? Did you predict some top 3?
I said P3. I said 3.
I think he might still get that, to be honest.
I don't know. I mean, Hittonen's there. It's just whether or not Hittonen's tyres just suddenly drop off and whether or not WoW can keep his penalties in check. I mean, I'm basing his decision on...
yeah, WoW has 12 second penalties, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
So,
I'm basing it on where he crosses the line rather than where he gets the penalties. I will base the judgment of his No, not my prediction. I'm basing my judgment of his hard choice on whether or not where he crosses the line. If he crosses the line P3 and then gets heavily penalised in penalties, I will still say that his hard decision was the right decision. If he doesn't, then and Zones has just chucked away his main chance of getting Hittinen back.
So, just to let you know, 2 of Wow's penalties came on the hard tyres. 1 came on the softs, 1 came on the mediums. He's picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 warnings on the hard tyres.
Yeah.
Are you sure about this?
I mean, the decision was more on whether or not the hard choice was the right choice, not necessarily whether or not he had the pace or not, and whether or not he had the consistency for it. I thought the hards were the wrong tyre, and I still do think they are the wrong tyre. He's still 8.2 seconds off of the top 2, and the only reason he's where he is right now is because of some questionable decisions from those that have decided to go on to the soft tyres. I mean, look at Hittinen now. Yeah, he's on the back of Smeege, but he was already with Brownie in the first place, and he's not yet back to where he was before, so it's great to see that he's going to go and take P4 back off of Smeege. If he can get a really solid run, which he's currently going for now, Smeege is going to have to hold the outside line, and that is all it's going to be. Hittinen still has so much more grip, although Smeege is right there. There's contact. There was a little bit of a nudge between the two. Smeege trying to keep his nose stuck in there. Hittinen just kind of played at ignorance a little bit and didn't really pay attention to where Smeege was. Racing incident, nothing more than that, but still a little bit careless from both drivers.
Yeah, now Hittenen's got 2.8 seconds to the back of Wow. He doesn't have to overtake, but he wants to because he needs to get up to get owner. I don't think he's going to have the pace to get there. He's 10 seconds off the back of get owner. We've got 4 laps to go, 3 and a bit laps to go.
2.5 seconds per lap in order to just close in. That's not pass him, that's just close in.
It's not going to be easy. Last lap he did a 38 on the nose. Wow did a 39.8.
I don't think Hittinen can get that back now.
He's got to hope Gaon gets a penalty, hasn't he?
Well, are they equal now? They're equal, aren't they, on penalties?
They are equal, yes.
Yeah.
Should we do a final rundown quickly?
Go on then.
Well, I mean, the leader hasn't had any penalty. I don't know how many warnings he's got, but Brownie's on 0, get owned on 6, Wow's on 12. Hittenen's on 6, Smeege is on 3, Rupert is on 9, and Zones is on 6. So Zones will gain 1 place on his teammate. Fast lap is currently with Rupert. Rupert will not gain much. He'll lose a place to his teammate. That's about it. At the back, Smeege could potentially jump a fair few if he can hang around Hittenen, which I don't think he's going to do, but you never know.
So Get Owned is hovering at the 1.2 margin. Again, remember, Brownie doesn't have to worry about whether he loses the position, so I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, well, there's the extra penalty that we were hoping for. Hittenen is now feeling
was hoping for
a little bit better. He might get the opportunity to close in even more. 2.25 is the gap currently. Wow, he's also seriously closing in. He has really reeled that down. Look at him reeling that time in. 6.9, dropping like a stone as well. That is really good going for Wow. Get Owen just suddenly lost a lot of pace.
I think it's because his rear tyres are currently sitting at 62%.
Is that far Get Owen?
Yeah. And that's why he's not got a lot of grip, because every time he puts his foot down, the rear's going, no, not doing it. Can't
but
make
again,
it.
He was one of the drivers I was seeing earlier where he was just putting down too much. And hold on 1 second. Here comes Rupert. He's going to go for a move in towards turn 1. This is going to be a dive and a half. We've seen Smeege stick this out before, and he, rightly so, decides it's probably not worth fighting this one. But again, Zones on the back of him as well. We saw what happened earlier on in the race when they had a moment between them before. He's going to go for a lunge here. No, he's learned his lesson. Zones saw what happened last time he went for it there. It didn't work out for him. He fell to the back of the grid, and that's the reason why he's in the pickle he's in right now. But he's going to get 2 cars worth of tow. And he's also going to get DRS, so should be a move done on Smeege.
All for now, because Smeege has 6 seconds less penalties than the car in front and the car behind. And it's going to be the 2 cars in front at the moment. So even if they get past him, I'm surprised he's even fighting this. I'll just let him go. The only one you've got to really worry about is Zones, because his tyres are nice and fresh. But if you can hang on the back of them, pick up the slipstream and the DRS, you've got a chance of doing something with it.
Now, Hittinen would need to get into 3-second gap of Getone in order to be able to take that position from him. And yeah, realistically, he's not going to. This is just it's going to require another penalty from Getone in order for him to have an opportunity here. But even then, it's still a tall order to close in that gap to get within that 6-second penalty range. He's a 1.1 away from Wow, who's 6/10 off that 6-second margin, and Hittinen's got a penalty to answer back. So that is P4 at most locked in for Hittinen now. Not most, because Wow has more. Does Wow have more now?
Yeah, Wow's still on 12.
Smeege's in.
But if Hittinen picks up another, then Wow will be in a good position. I think you could see some more penalties, quite a few more penalties flying this final couple of laps. The rear tyres of these mediums will be hitting puncture territory any moment. And I think Hittinen is going to be in the same boat as well. His tyres are very old and he's been thrashing in that car to try and catch up with Smeege pits. I think he's going to go for the fastest lap. No harm in doing it.
I think in his mind he knows that these guys have got penalties, but at the same time he's thinking, well, yeah, but my tyres are done. I can't keep this pace going. Yeah. I can't stay within that penalty range. I may as well add that additional point to my my points list for this Grand Prix. But again, look at Brownie. He did, as I said he was going to, which is manage those tyres to the end. I mean, you can see the wear, visibly see the wear on his tyres if you go on board with him in a TV pod. But he's just done a very good job of managing them. He's taking these to the end and more. Zones and Ripper swap places. Mercedes teammates, but they are actually having a little bit of contact between the two of them. Zones will be the one who gains out of that overall. I think these guys are equal on penalties, is that right?
Zones and Ripper, oh yes, they're both on 9 seconds. The penalties are starting to even itself out now. The top 6, there's only 2 people that aren't on 9 seconds, and that's our race leader who's on 0, and Wow who's on 12. So one penalty somewhere around. If Hittinen gets a penalty, Wow's got a podium.
Yeah, that's true.
We've got a final lap here. We're in puncture territory now for these front 2.
Well, this could be so spicy. If we see Brownie get a puncture and get a puncture and Wow wins the Grand Prix, that would be that would be a big foot in my mouth about the hard tyres, wouldn't it?
Well, especially if Hittinen picks up a penalty. I thought that was Hittinen picking up a penalty. If Hittinen picks up a penalty this final lap, that's going to nullify that gap of 3 seconds at the moment. And I'm not going to rule it out because I don't want to. This could be fun.
Could be. We got to keep an eye on the gap for Zones though, because he only has 9, I believe.
Is that sorry, Zones?
Yeah.
He's on 9, yes.
Yeah. So if that gap falls to 3 seconds between him and Wow, then that's where you're going to start to see things become a problem for them.
The rears are at 75% on Getone's car. Final lap.
He's lost a lot of pace as well. Look at his gap to Brownie. Hittinen's actually gained on... Look at that. Hittinen's gained on Wow there. He's up to P3 now. So he's actually going to have to pass him if Hittinen gets a penalty. That's the only way Wow's going to keep P3. And he's also now at risk from Zones as well, who's within that 3-second margin. Something went drastically wrong for Wow, and this is not good news.
Must have had a little wobble somewhere. Let's check. Telemetry.
Hold that thought, because Brownie is here. He's crossed the final corner for the final time this season. He takes the win very cleanly. Getone will make it to the 2nd place line. Hittinen P3. Wow P4. Although Zones... Oh, he's actually retired.
You absolute... I can't even say the word because I'm not supposed to.
I have no words to describe.
Might get classified, but I don't know. I won't even try and make a ruling on that. That's for the stewards to decide what position he ends up with.
And Smeege jumps him.
Does Smeege get fastest lap at the end?
I
jumped him because he crashed on the line. He DNF'd.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He jumps him as well because of it.
Yeah. Oh.
What a drama on the final lap. Oh, that was spicy.
Unless there was a puncher.
Potentially. Surely not though. Not that early on the softs. But anyway, here you go then. This is your rundown at the end of the final Grand Prix in the Apex Online Racing F2 League. It's Brownie who takes the win very cleanly. He's one of 2 drivers to not get a penalty. The other one wasn't even here. So Brownie, well done, sir, on the P1. Geton will take P2 then, with Hittinen in P3. Wow takes P4. Rupert 5th. Boom, who's technically 6th, although it isn't because he wasn't actually there. Smeej will take 6th place. And then Boom, Zones, Dax, Euless, and Kimmy's are the remainder of the drivers. The rest DNF'd, including Boom, technically. And that leaves me with the final question for the final time this season. Amkasa, who's your driver of the day, or is it obvious?
I think it's got to go to Brownie. It would have gone to WoW if he held a podium. Hittinen did a really good recovery, but Brownie, penalty-free, bossed it.
Yep, agreed. Brownie smashed it. Absolutely gets driver of the day from me. And that's it. Thank you everybody who tuned in for the entire season. Apex Online Racing, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for having us. And we'll see you guys when the new season starts up, whenever that date may be. Have a good night.
So much.